Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Happy episode number 208. It was a last great interview with J. Michael Collins. I want to again send a shout out and thank you to him and everybody that listened. That was just a lot of fun and learned a lot. Today I think I had to come on and talk to you guys about something that's been rattling in my brain, something very exciting that we're looking at starting to do over at a VO's Journey Elite, and that is starting my own agency. And I think, that is something that I have long thought about, long have been interested in. And now, I think that it is something that I'm really excited about. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts on that, what's happening, and where we're going forward. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, so it's so interesting, how we, where we go, what directions we head in, et cetera, and it's just really exciting, I think, to always see new places and new things. This idea came from, I think I had always had this idea a long time ago, but it recently came to the forefront with when we interviewed Brent Allen Hagel, and he also came and did a training for our VO's Journey Elite group. And, as we were talking as a group and everything, and, and he mentioned, we have, in that elite group, we have a lot of voice actors, and, we are, it's really become just a fantastic kind of family. And, he talked about how, we could, come together and we could, have our own agency too, and help promote each other, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that got my attention, as thinking, we have a lot, the things that I've created that we've all done together. I mean, with a VO's Journey, we think about the Facebook group, the website, the platforms, with YouTube and this podcast and the blog and all the different social media outlets that a VO's Journey is on, and all the different things, that we've put together. And the traffic that a VO's Journey website gets now, which is growing, I think it lends itself to the beginnings of, a voiceover roster and an agency, if you will. And I don't like, the word agency, I'm not exactly sure. And this is part of the learning curve, exactly what constitutes as an agency as opposed to housing a roster, whether that's representation of you get a percentage, what that means, exclusivity and all that kind of stuff, and that's not stuff I'm really interested in. What I think I'm interested in and what I think is the amazing possibility is a group of people working together to help each other grow and find opportunities. And if you look around, at least for me, I don't see that anywhere. What we see is there's a lot of places out there that, you can sign up, of course, to be a voice actor. There's also agents that you can be represented by. I mean, there's lots of ways out there to find business, but I don't know of any where the group itself works together to promote as a whole the agency. I think that happens because of a couple of reasons. One, I think, you don't know, there's could be anybody in the agency, you're trying to also make sure you're making money, right? You need to make money. So there's an issue, I think, with that. And, it's hard to spend time probably promoting, a business that you might not own or have a stake in, except for the fact that it could help you get work. So there's a lot of challenges there, I think, with why people don't necessarily do that. However, I think the idea behind this roster, this agency, if you will, or whatever, is still focused around a VO's Journey Elite and the coaching mindset, the instruction mindset. Currently that group, we meet 2 times a week. We meet on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And, our sole focus of that group is to help all the individuals in that group grow their businesses, make more money, learn all the different parts of your voiceover journey, and be supportive for each other and share knowledge, share different whatever that we need as a group, we're there. And there's also a lot of people in the group that have a lot of different skills. We do a lot of things like, some people are really good at thumbnails, some people are good at websites, there's a lot of cool things about that group that's kind of come out throughout the year, it's been a couple years now that the group's been going, that's happened. And, what has not happened yet though is the next step, which I think logically the next step would be, we're spending time training in this group. We do voice acting training, we meet twice a week. So, it's a great group. I think, the logical progression would be to move towards doing, finding work for people and giving people the opportunity to audition and get booked through being a part of a VO's Journey Elite. And, we've had the conversations in the group, and it's very positive. And I'm really thrilled about the idea, the direction of it, the possibilities of it. I think the key to the whole thing, with this is that, like I said, the training aspect of it is everything, right? And, the part that it's not just an agency or a roster or a group of people that, you join or you pay a fee or you audition to be a part of or whatever, you do throughout the internet. It's about you also becoming better at your craft. Do you know what I mean? And better at your business, right? It's not just one thing or another thing. It's a total, like a total development process. And I really like that type of atmosphere because I think it helps to not only have, access to work or possible work, but also, no matter what. Now, I'm not saying, the goal of any, I think, agency or someone who's representing someone else or a roster or anything that you put together, right, would be to try to make sure there's enough business coming through there that everyone gets lots of work, you know what I mean? And they're making lots of money. But I think it's we're all smart enough to know that, not everyone is going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through one roster. So to me, I think one of the problems with a lot of places is that they are solely about just the business itself and not a lot about the voice actor or the people that are doing, like in this gig economy, right? The people who are supporting or the working to these services, who are then paying these websites money, right, to use their websites. There's not a lot being done to help them grow beyond their websites. And I think that's the key, right? Because, think about, Fiverr, and, I love Fiverr or any other, or Upwork. Let's say Fiverr and Upwork, for example, love the platforms, as you all know. But their business models are completely around you staying on that platform. Do you know what I mean? Like the business model has to be that you stay on that platform because they don't make money unless you make money through their platform. They don't make any money if you find business elsewhere. They don't make any money if you grow your own network of clients. They don't make money, right? They'd only make money if someone purchases through their website. And that's fine. That's wonderful. Again, you know how much I love those sites. But I think that there can be a better way, right? And then if you think about pay-to-play sites, right? You pay, and I've talked, when we interviewed the CEO of Voices.com, David Ciccarelli. It was really wonderful and enlightening to hear all the information and the stats that he had about business and how to help voice actors. And I've always said that I've admired how Voices.com has tried to do a lot to help voice actors and their training and stuff that they put out. But again, it is harder, I think, for a large business. And let's make no mistake, Voices.com is huge. A large business to really dive in and help individuals. Now, Voices.com does offer, those, you could pay extra, I think, for a coaching session with someone who's paid for or been accepted into the higher program. I think there's something there, like you can pay for like a session fee to help on Voices.com. But there's nothing that I've ever seen and that has gone that extra mile. Now, Brent does that. Brent Hagel does that, I think, he does some, webinars or some workshops, where he brings in people just to help people grow their business, which is great, and of course, VO's Journey has courses and that people can take to help their voiceover business. But what I'm saying is that, I've never seen or been a part of a model where, you join this model and the whole point of the model is to train you to build your voiceover business while offering you voiceover business, but not making it exclusive to where this is the only business you can get, and still training you to help you get business other places, right? I think that's a big that's a big difference of how I see this. Because I think when you are so limited, again, it's fine. I think that you start to struggle with being able to know, well, hey, how many, where do I get more business? This is great. So, I made I made $1,000 or I made $2,000 this month, from being a part of a VO's Journey Elite. But I need to make $3,000 more this month because that's my goals. That's what my bills, that's what I got to pay. Where else do I make money? Well, I mean, that's $3,000 more you have to make. And if you're not a part of a program, I think that could help you with that. You're again left to figure out, okay, well, what other website do I got to go to? What other means of marketing? What do I not, you go back to that whole thing over and over again, as opposed to a holistic approach to building your voiceover business that's not solely dependent upon one place. And because nowadays, there's with so many places, you can't be solely dependent on one place. But none of those places offer a sole place where you can go for that support of branching out everywhere. So I think that a VO's Journey Elite, to me, in my mind, that makes perfect sense to have that sort of atmosphere. And I think from the business standpoint, right, VO's Journey Elite is, like I said, we meet twice a week, 8 times a month, and it's a monthly fee to be a part of that group, and you get access to the archives and special, stuff and things like that. We do have giveaways and we have discounted rates, but the power, we have a private group too where we share all kinds of stuff. But I think the biggest thing is the camaraderie, the group availability, and the training on a weekly basis that we get. So being a part of that group, paying that fee to train and learn and grow your business, plus then having more access to having access to business. That just seems like it makes a lot of sense. And I think the key to it as well is making a cap on the amount of people that can join, because I think that what happens is these other sites, right, their business models, they rely on, and I understand, they rely on growth, right, or to make more revenue by adding more voice actors. adding more customers from a voiceover standpoint, as opposed to, capping it. Now, some, of course, I'm talking about websites, right? As opposed to agents, which I don't have any agents myself. So, that the more that they have, the more people that pay, the more money they make. So capping their numbers doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. But it for, us as voice actors getting in there, that's a challenge because there's so many people that it can be, it's just hard. I mean, it's just hard. It's a sheer numbers, about how many people are available and whether you're even going to come up. Right. And I think getting that from David from voices.com, with the realization, and which I loved about David because he was so transparent. And I'm very pleased with voices.com and with David about how transparent he was about the fact that when he talked about, because they have so many people, do you know what I mean? It can be challenging to get, everybody, a job for everybody because there's so many, there's too many. Everybody can't have access to all the jobs. It would be impossible, right? Because there's just not enough to sustain that many people. All right. And I think that, for us or for a VO's journey, capping the limited amount of people that can be on that roster and a part of that group makes sense, but that also, right, starts to get it another bit of challenges, right? Like how does it grow beyond? Is there a percentage? Is it a cost? And I think as the idea is from all of this is what are we trying to accomplish? Do you know what I mean? Again, that's the overall goal. What are we trying to accomplish? Are we trying to build some multi-million-dollar business or are we trying to build a nice life for each other? Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where your goals and, they have to, and this is whether, since I'm talking about VO's Journey Elite today, but no matter what you're doing or where you're going, your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, that's why they're so important. Because, you might find that if your goals are one thing, everybody else that you're talking to or learning from, their goals might be something different. So the information, the advice, or the where you're going might be not actually matching what you're actually trying to accomplish yourself because they don't match up. So that's why I think goals are important and also important to think about when you're working with someone else or being a part of a group. What are the goals of the group or at least the people who are running it or leading the ship, and so that you always get context with the advice that you're getting, because a lot of times advice that we get can, again, be skewed towards what an individual's goals are, what a group or an organization's goals are. Okay. That, and that's why I like the idea of working in a smaller group, as opposed to having an unlimited number of people. And, that's now, again, that raises more challenges, and I don't propose on this podcast to have all the answers, but, it's an exciting and interesting idea. And I think the platform is built well so far to start to move down that road of being able to offer those services. And another exciting thing too, I think that goes with it is that we, people as a group, if you notice too, and I noticed this, I don't know if you guys have, but working together in a group, so many of us, like for example, social media. I mean, the idea with social media, right, is to be social, to grow influence, to grow reach, for people to recognize you, for people to see that you exist, to become familiar with you and familiar with your name attached to the service that you offer, right? And as people are looking for things, your name pops up because they're familiar with it, right? I mean, that's the idea, and to be social, to meet people, to, be a part of conversations. And, this is all there. But the challenge that we find is like through an ocean of social media and people, we're by ourselves. I think there's not a lot of us harnessing that ability to work together. And I always thought, and I always thought of the union. and how, there was, a lot of things are started, I think, with really great intentions. And then as time goes on, things can change, and, different people take over and different ideas happen, or et cetera, et cetera. But I love the idea of us coming together and helping each other, on social media, on these places. I mean, imagine the promotion that we could do together, as opposed to one person taking on the internet, as opposed to 10 people or 20 people or 50 people or 100 people or 1,000 people working together through that. I mean, just think of that. That's amazing. Imagine those people sending traffic to a place where their services are, and 100 more people sending traffic to a place where your services are, and vice versa. You know what I mean? I mean, that's exciting. That's just an exciting thought to me. And I think pooling our resources together as a community is huge. I think together we are so much stronger than when we are divided. Okay. But, that just takes something. And I think a VO's Journey Elite and the conversations we're having and the direction we're going, I think is really positive. So, hey, you guys, I hope this was interesting to you, and, really excited about what's happening in the future. And I had to talk to you guys about it, and get your thoughts, and wanted you to think too, about that. And, so as always, thank you for listening. You have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will talk to you soon. Peace.